Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Wednesday, June 11th, and we are here trying to help you make better, somewhat less bad financial decisions. Now, if you've got a question, something's going on in your life, you need a little bit of guidance, maybe you need a little coaching, just give us a holler. Go to jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us on the air, check the box. Mark will do everything else. If you're shy, if you think this is just going to live as an email, just know that number one, we're pretty built up in email, so it might be a little bit before we get to you, but also give us a lot of detail. That way we don't have to have that moment where I then say, oh, can you please send us more information? Anything that you think could be helpful to us, let us know. And while you're on the website, don't forget, sign up for the free weekly newsletter. It comes out every single Friday. It's so great. And we've got this new platform. Mark, has anyone noticed? Did anyone say, what the heck? How am I subscribed to Substack?
No, we've had a lot of people say, though, nice to see you on Substack.
Oh, hey, we're on Substack. Mark, why is that important?
Stay tuned.
There could be things. Mark is cooking up lots of post-retirement off-ramp ideas for Jill Schlesinger. You know, by the way, Mark, this morning, we're recording this last week. This morning, I was just listening to Mark Maron's announcement that he will be ending his podcast after 16 years. So as I was listening to that and walking the dogs, I was thinking about how we could end after a certain period of time. So he's like, oh, I've been doing this for 16 years. And then I was like, wait a minute. We started the radio show in 2011, right? Is that right, Mark?
Yeah, January 2011.
Okay. So wouldn't January of 2026 be perfect? 15 years? No, you're not going to let me do that. Anyway, well, Mark's not going to let me do this.
For the radio show? Yeah, the radio show can go bye-bye.
Oh, well, let's see. We don't know yet, but we are very busy trying to create content that is interesting to you. And we always want to focus on you. And so far be it from me to think about my own retirement, even though I'm getting old and tired. But Mark won't let me retire. Mark said it is time. How many years do I have to give you?
You're not tired of this. You're tired of
That's so
things.
True. That is so true. I am not. That is absolutely right. I am not tired of this because this is the best part of my week. And I think also maybe if I were just doing this and anything related to Jill on Money, I think I'd be a much happier person. Don't you think?
Well, that may happen very soon.
It may not be my choice either. Got to be ready. Okay, let's do some emails today, Mark. I know we've got a bunch. So this first question is from Sarah, whose subject is buy that dream retirement home. Okay, so Sarah's dream retirement home is priced under about $600,000. It's an hour away from where she currently lives. So she goes on to write, I have enough money to make a minimal second home down payment, about 10% down. This would mean in the short term, I would be taking on a 30-year mortgage. So she's 52. She says 30-year mortgage puts her at 82. I don't have a face on that. And she said, I would refi if the interest rates dropped in the next 5 years. I own my own home, which we are keeping for now. When the current home eventually sells, I would essentially get about $400,000 net out of the proceeds. I would have that money to put towards the new retirement mortgage, which would mean I would have it paid off way before I turn 82. I don't really care if you have a mortgage at 82, as long as it's a low interest rate. That I don't have any issue with. Sarah says, I'm on track to have $3.5 million of my own money in pre-tax accounts by age 65. I'm a high income earner, no Roth. I'm not going to claim Social Security until I'm 70, about $5,000 a month, maybe $4,000 if Social Security gets cut. My husband has his own retirement accounts, about $2.5 million by his age 65. I don't see him ever retiring. Okay. I plan to retire at age 65, take on a low-stress part-time job to keep a little income flowing for extra, just for good measure. My question, should I roll the dice and buy this house? It's located in an extremely desirable real estate market by the coast in New England that is not being affected by the current environment, so the market should not go south there. It has doubled in price in the last 5 years, which, by the way, median home price is up 45% in the last 5 years. Okay. Sarah goes on, if worse came to worse, I can always sell it or downgrade. I'm not going to lose the money. And I also am considering renting it periodically for the next few years. blah, blah, blah. With this purchase and a recent increase in salary, I should be able to cover bills in both locations without compromising what I'm putting away for retirement. Monthly expense is $6,500. My thought is, you only live once, like the kids say, right, Sarah? YOLO. Anyway, she says, I think I'm in a strong enough position to take the leap. I've always have dreamed of living in this town. I worry that if I wait to stash more money away for another 5 years, housing prices could go up by another 25, 30, 50%, which would put it even further out of reach. I hope this is enough detail. This is perfect detail. Look forward to your thoughts and Mark's as well. Okay. So, Sarah, go ahead and buy your house. Calm down. I'm not worried about it. Seems like you have plenty of money. Your monthly expenses are pretty reasonable. And I don't think housing prices are going to go up by 25 to 30 or 50% in the next 5 years. I really don't. However, you want to get the house. Get the house. You got a lot of money. You seem to break up the money between you and your husband. But if you have $6 million between the two of you, I think you're going to be fine. Mark, any issue with Sarah buying her quote unquote dream home?
No, she answered it for me when she said she's still going to be able to cover all her bills in both locations without compromising what she's putting away for retirement. For me, that's the big thing. If you can pull this off and not sacrifice any of your retirement savings, then you can do it.
Do it, right? And also, if you're also saying, like, if something were to go south, I would make an adjustment. Great. That seems fine to me. Okay, let's move on. This is a nice thing that from a question from a Frugal Gen Zer. Oh, wait a second. Mark, did you happen to know the actual Gen Z definition? Because I had to look it up okay, I'm glad you asked because I have it for you. You ready? The Gen Z is defined born 1997 to 2010. 1997 to 2020. Okay, so that's your Gen Zer. Here's our question. Anonymous is 24 years old, a college grad. I rent a one-bedroom apartment. I drive a 15-year-old car that needs to be replaced within the next 2 years, maybe sooner. Full-time job paying $50,000 and also a new part-time job that pays $18 an hour, $1,300 a month. It took me nearly a year to find an entry-level job in my degree field. All right. Monthly expenses, $2,000. No debt. $17,000 in unused 529 funds. Undecided about grad school. I contribute 10% to a traditional 401k. I have $69,000 in a regular savings account. I purchased $5,000 in I-bonds when the rate was 9.62% and $10,000 in a Roth. The reason I started investing at age 19 is because my mom became an avid listener of Jill on Money during the pandemic. It was hard to escape your unsolicited advice. My know-it-all younger brother recommended investing Roth funds in SCHD. Let's look. That looks like a Schwab thing?
Yeah, it's a Schwab dividend
Schwab
equity.
U.S. dividend equity ETF. Okay, got it. Was this good advice? It wasn't bad. It's not the worst. It's cheap. It's fine. Whatever. It's fine. It's not. So was this good advice? Sure. Any index fund is fine. This is fine. It's okay. Setting up a high yield interest savings account sounds intimidating. And my tax preparer said if I earn more interest, it will have to be declared. Oh, well, your tax preparer is a moron, but let's get back to that in a second. I'm frugal, but unsure how to invest and diversify. Any financial or career advice would be greatly appreciated. Let me start with number one. Number one, stop putting money in a pre-tax 401k. Do not use a traditional 401k. If you have the option, please put the money into a Roth. Okay? Stop using a traditional if you have the option. If you don't have the option, just put whatever you can up to that, wherever you get a match, and then put the rest in your Roth. Okay? That's number one. The unused funds in the 529 plan, I guess we'll hang on to that until you decide about grad school. Don't be in such a hurry to go to grad school. I don't think it's a great idea. If you have a job and we are going to see the economy slow down, if we were to go into a recession, don't go hide out in grad school. Keep working as long as you can. Stay working. And by the way, good for you. You have a full-time job. I get it. It took a long time to find that job. Keep that job. And if that part-time job is distracting you from your full-time job, then stop doing it. You have to try to keep your hands in this job and make sure that you're doing everything you can to advance yourself. That's your career advice. The I bonds, Mark, should she sell her I bonds? They're not paying 9.62% anymore. So that she probably bought them in 2021. They may not be fully matured, but despite what your tax preparer says, paying higher interest, even if you pay tax on the interest that you earn in a high yield savings account, as opposed to that regular savings account, so what? You're still ending up with more money. That's insane advice. So two things, which is definitely look to a high yield savings account. I guess we should keep the money in savings right now until you determine whether you need a car or not, and how much that car is going to cost. Maybe consider selling those I bonds. I think Mark's going to say yes. Is that right, Mark?
I would. I have.
Yeah, I already also redeemed mine, and again, it's going to create a tax liability. And if you want to the Schwab U.S. Dividend Equity Fund is absolutely fine. You can also choose just a plain old index fund. If you want to add one more fund, maybe you want to add an international fund, like put some small amount, and maybe you'll be like 90% in this U.S. fund and 10% into an international fund, and don't worry about it. Sounds like you're in good shape, Anonymous. I'd be happy to be in your shoes, and just keep that job. Okay. All right. Question from Karen. What are your thoughts on reverse mortgages? Worth doing for a retired couple? Karen, the deal with reverse mortgages, which is where you're tapping your equity and creating a stream of income from the equity in your house, has to do with how old you are and also what are your options. So they can be very good products, but they have to be looked at by someone other than you. They're very complicated products. And so if you are thinking about a reverse mortgage, I would absolutely engage the services of a fiduciary planner to review those numbers, make sure that that's the right thing for you. Okay. This is from Maureen. She's a federal employee. She was forced into early retirement at age 58. She says, I love your show. I'm a regular listener. I have 21 years in the federal government. 3 weeks ago, I took the early retirement option with a $25,000 payout. Now, remember, gang, we've heard a lot about these people. These are people who are staying on the payroll probably for a little bit and get this extra $25,000. That is a pretty good incentive. She did it because she was scared of getting let go anyway. So she just said she secured her pension and health care for her family. And she says, I want to continue working, but realize the market is tight. Ageism is real. No kidding. You got that right, Maureen. She said, I just updated my LinkedIn page. I'm working on my resume. I've got 2 networking meetings scheduled this week. That's great. But here's the real question. I'm 58 years old. Do I have enough to live on without continuing to work? She's married. She's got a kid in college. They have a 529 plan that's going to cover the university costs. Great. So her pension and health care after tax is $20,000 a year, plus another $11,500, which is that supplement. It's based on if you make less than $23,000. And then she's got some annual leave payout. She's got about $1.3 million in her thrift savings plan, plus another $200,000 in a traditional IRA. So $1.5 million in traditional retirement assets, $230,000 in a Roth, got another $780,000 in a rollover IRA, an inherited IRA for a little bit, a brokerage and investment account. They have a home that's worth $1.2 million, and there's only $100,000 left. There's a rental unit tenant that pays about 3/4 of their mortgage each month. Incredible. Okay, husband makes $150,000 a year and doesn't plan to retire, and he loves working. I love that kind of spouse. I wish my spouse were like that. Not exactly. I guess he has another account that's floating around $700,000, no Social Security. Expenses are $6,000 a month. It's funny. There's a second couple. My monthly expenses are $6,000. My husband's are $10,000. They don't have a shared bank account. You think it's a second marriage, Mark?
I don't know.
That's fascinating. This is the second question today where it's like separate. Okay. She's got longevity. Parents are still alive in their 90s. Mark, does she need to find a new job?
Does she, based on her expenses? No, I think she's okay.
I think she's okay also. And a lot of people who have asked this question, which is that you get this FERS supplement when you get the buyout from the government, but you have to make less than $23,000. If you got a job and that was a good job and you wanted a job, great. But if you still have $32,000 a year that's coming in for a bit. So Anyway, it's pretty good and you've got plenty of money. And so I think you're fine. I think you should try to find a job because it sounds like you'd probably like to work, but that has nothing to do with whether you need to work. What strategies do you recommend to pay myself monthly? Should I consider a CD ladder or a high yield savings account? Do you recommend a Roth conversion when our tax bracket goes down to 22%? Well, I mean, it looks to me like, I don't know, again, how you and your husband want to divvy this up, but like between the two of you, you can cover your expenses. If you find it easier to have money that is just almost like every year you have like the money you need, you can set it up as a CD ladder. You can do that for a few years, but then you should start tapping the traditional IRA and the thrift savings plan as you just to try to whittle it down. I don't think you should necessarily, I'm not sure you're going to need to convert into a Roth, but I do think it would be nice for you to start pulling money out of the traditional accounts as you guys see a lower tax bracket. But I wouldn't necessarily do a whole conversion. Would you, Mark?
I don't think so. And I'm not exactly clear as to how they manage their assets. Because if you're combining everything, yeah, they have money in his brokerage account to pay for it. But if you're just looking at hers, she doesn't have a lot of money to pay for it on her own. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, we need a little bit more information, but I think you're fine. And I'm intrigued to hear more about how you guys manage your money. It's fascinating to us, but let us know. And you're good. Listen, for folks who are thinking about managing cash flow, there's no like rule. This is about what works for you. So one of the difficult things is when you end up retiring, you lost that consistency where money hits your account every 2 weeks, right? And if that really wigs you out, what you can do is you can set up a system so that money can flow into your bank account. And then maybe you can just like play a game with yourself. Like, hey, every month or every quarter, money comes out of one account, goes into another. Oh, I'm paying myself. It's up to you. But normally what, I would always say to folks is, you know how we say if you invest all of your money at once in the beginning of the year, you're probably going to be better off, like mathematically. I sort of feel that way for cash flow. Like if you take the money you need for the next year in December, it probably works very well for you. But if you can't manage that and it's just too much for you to get it in one fell swoop, no biggie, not a big deal at all. Do what works for you. There isn't a one size fits all. Okay. And that's really the point of this whole show. You hear us talk to people all the time. Everybody's situation is different. That's why we encourage you to get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the contact us button, write us a note. And if you want to come on the air, check the box. Mark will do everything else. And why don't you just bookmark our website? Because you never know when you might need a little advice. Just do that. JillOnMoney.com. You can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcast. Please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen. Okay, so don't forget to try to lift someone up, change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.